It would be Oregon. No one is going to come back to Florida to see the eclipse.
I didn't mean to jump in on your story.
I know,
but the Florida thing.
Florida sounds better. You can't prove Oregon's a nice state. But Florida sounds better too. Very good. Well, glad you're here. Glad to see you folks on bikes. The traffic's now
Testing, 1, 2.
Well, we went out to the beach.
Testing.
Breakfast, they had a pancake thing, so Larry got to talk to Ryan people at that spot. We kind of went downtown last night to see the
Can you hear me now?
same people. I don't see that in the broadcast.
You tend to do that in Aurora. Is this your space?
Yes.
Well, is your camera on?
Do that here in
Yeah, I'm showing up.
You're out there.
Oh, you got those too. Hey,
It will.
They do have
same thing.
set up to take.
That's just a storage. Yep, just like a basic word. Good work. As far as I can tell, make sure you've got, that's American.
Interesting though.
That's American paper optics. Yep. They should be kosher. Those on the back.
I don't see your live feed on here.
Oh no, what's going on?
No more.
Do you have more than one?
No.
Because I clicked on the link you sent, and all it has is your 3 from that you did long time ago. And this says you're broadcasting. It says you're broadcasting on.
Not gonna be over there.
No, they're
Stream live, YouTube live, Robert Mitchell, Ambrose Astronomy, test stream 3, viewer 0, bitrate.
Test stream 3.
That's what it says.
I could get my laptop from your van and see if I can pick it up on that.
Well, you're not showing up on the internet. I'm not really sure why that would be. And I didn't get the email. I'm subscribed to you, and usually it gives you an email. I'm going to take you out and put you back. You are not a live stream.
These guys right here from Minnesota, they're going to raise weather balloons to the west and the southwest, and they're going to track them as they go across during the eclipse. That's what they're doing. Love the breeze. That's nice. So those are just rest positions.
We'll see. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
I'm sure you.
I've run through mine a couple of times just to make sure that I've got adequate time in between and clear her up and pause and that and everything else.
I've actually gone through, it controls it. And I look at the timing. Off in minutes and seconds, and it doesn't have hours on any of it. Hours are in.
They are out there.
Hour and 1 minute. Yeah.
They were green specifically. Yeah. It's just fun to watch.
So, Dan is running my mother.
Who is? Oh.
It's a similar program to the one I've got.
Right.
But he's running the same thing, totally automated.
You what? You see him running out the door? We are about to. He's not saying anything, but you see his butt run out the door, you know there's a problem. Yeah, roughly.
Okay, I got you.
I'm on?
Yeah, I got it.
My mic's still on, so. Zach.
I guess that. Yeah, I should say you're on. But I don't see you in front of the camera. There you are.
Should. Can you see me now? There was some kind of a delay, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's just wrong. I wonder if they're bogging us down. How long are they going to be running? You know, the TV guys?
I have no idea.
Hey, Dan, how long are the TV guys going to be on here? We've got like a 30-second delay now.
Oh, you do? Okay. They should be on the open camera.
They're not. Somebody told me to go to channel 48.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yes. Set them straight.
Kind of off and on. Wow.
TV crew's pirating our channel.
Well, you know what it really comes down to is
Well,
oh, argue the point whether it's true or not? Yeah.
so what do you got there?
That's the throughput on the band. You know, we got
Almost 40 megabits.
47.9. I mean, we're
Quick question
Okay.
for you. We've got a couple of people using that closed channel here, 3 of them actually. And the folks of the webcast are reporting about a 30-second delay. Is there a way to allocate more bandwidth to channel 48?
Last night, instantaneous, all my monitors, everything was like this. In real time, almost sync. Right now,
That's something you can do from there in the office?
the only difference is we've got other people on.
Okay. Let's see if we can. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Mark. Bye-bye.
It's like in your, like it's a different site.
It can't be.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. There's nothing you can see and hear on it other than, I didn't get an email notice that you're live, and I normally do. And here's your live channel right there. But I don't want to go in here and grab them, but this is like a different channel than this one.
I don't want that.
God, 2 minutes later.
That's on your channel?
Well, these are just different channels.
Uh-huh.
But this doesn't seem to be on the same one as those. At least when I went to those, this wasn't there.
Well, where is it?
I don't know. It's wherever you. It's logging in off of where you're locating it. That's why, if you can go ahead and you try on your laptop and see if it's there. Maybe it just took a long time to get there.
Yeah, I'll go get it. Yeah, I'll go get it.
The first eclipse that we attended was in October of 1977. We were on a cruise ship off the coast of Mexico, and of course they had a lot of flexibility as to travel.
My mic should
there were
be
a lot
on.
of clouds, and so they were able to move the ship around to find a clear spot. There was two ships out there, the Fair Sea and the Fair Wind. They had a lot of astronomers on board. I was able to meet
One mic, test one mic.
Dr. Bach. And
see how long it
some
takes
of
for that to show
really
up.
famous, I think Dr. Bach is gone now, but a lot of famous astronomers. It was really fun. They had learning programs. They had seminars going constantly, astronomy seminars. So, that was the first one we saw, and that one was, I think, a little over 2 minutes. The next one was really an interesting case because it was February of 1979, and it touched part of the United States, I think, Washington
Am I there
State,
yet?
or Oregon, Washington. Then it went across Canada. And so we were going with this Eclipse Chasers Club, which was organized by Dr. Harry Nelson at Augustana. And he had done this in Australia earlier. Hired a plane and flew along the path of the eclipse because we were concerned about clouds. So he called United Airlines and he said, we'd like to hire a plane to fly us from Chicago up to Canada, not land, just come back to Chicago. So I had, my ticket says origin Chicago, destination Chicago. Kind of interesting, but we did. He talked to them and they said, well, what would you like us to do? Charter this plane? Yeah, okay.
Place is getting busy.
Remove all of the seats from the right-hand side of the plane, so that people can crowd around the windows to see the eclipse. So ride in all the seats on the left, on the right. Remove all the seats, and they said, I don't know. I don't think we can do that.
Sharon.
And so Dr. Nelson called a good friend of his, Neil Armstrong.
Sure.
Neil Armstrong happened to be on the board of directors of United Airlines, so it was very quickly got back to Dr. Nelson and said, okay, we can do this for you. And so we did. We flew out of Chicago, seated in all the seats on the right hand or the left side of the plane, flew along the path of the eclipse, which would have been on the ground about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And because we were moving along at like 500 miles an hour, we got 4 minutes and 40 seconds of total eclipse. So that was my second eclipse. My third eclipse was in 1991. We went to Hawaii, had a wonderful vacation out there, but we didn't get to see the eclipse because it totally clouded out. Although the people who went to Baja California in Mexico got a clear view of it, so I was kind of upset that it chose Hawaii instead of Mexico. We missed that one, and that was a long one. That was, I think, about a 7-minute eclipse.
Wow. Hi,
That's
Sharon.
I think the longest thing
we're doing a test stream on my YouTube channel right now.
So then in 1998, we went on a cruise ship
picking
again, it up. In the Caribbean, went down to Aruba, got off on Aruba the day of the eclipse and set up, and we got
7 or 8 second delay.
I'm showing you. And so that was a great experience. We loved it.
Things seem to be going well on your end.
So that was my 4 eclipses, 3 of which I've seen.
Is there anything you
need?
need?
I see cloud bottoms.
Okay. Yeah, there's going to be at least a little bit of delay using the Wi-Fi we got here right now, but hopefully it won't be too bad.
Good morning.
Okay.
Welcome to today's broadcast of the
Well,
2017
you have my
Great
number,
American
so
Eclipse.
you can call me if you
My
need
name
anything.
is Jeff Struve, President of the Quad Cities Astronomical Society,
The map looks
located
terrible.
in the Iowa Quad Cities. This 3-hour event is brought to you by the Almighty
The
and
map's
will be
gone
narrated
now.
by Dr. Robert Mitchell, Physics Department, St. Ambrose University,
Okay.
Davenport, Iowa.
I think
No
Jeff's
planets
still, I
will
think
be
Jeff's
injured
still
during
making
the
some
making of
adjustments.
this live broadcast. And now, Dr. Mitchell.
The text is illegible. Okay.
A total solar eclipse
yeah.
is that rare event when the moon completely covers the face of the sun,
Sorry.
leaving only a bright corona surrounding what looks like a dark
you
hole
go
in
ahead.
the sky. The reason this occurs has to do with the moon's orbit around Earth combined with Earth's orbit around the sun. Seen from this vantage point in space, the moon orbits around the Earth counterclockwise.
All right, I'll let Jeff
As
know.
the moon orbits around the Earth, we see different phases
Sharon,
because
thanks.
we see different amounts of the moon's sunlit side pointing toward the Earth. During a full moon, the entire sunlit side of the moon is facing toward us, so we see what looks like
He said the map looked terrible and the text was illegible.
New moon occurs
thinking that may have something to do with our
when the
bandwidth.
moon is more or less between the Earth and the sun, so that only the darkened side of the moon is pointed toward us. This is the phase when you have the potential for a solar eclipse. Now, if the moon's orbital plane was exactly lined up with the Earth's orbital plane around the sun, then we would have a solar eclipse
Well, she
at
said
every
they've
new
only got
moon.
a 7 or 8 second.
But in reality, the moon's orbit is tilted by about 5 degrees relative to the Earth's orbit around the sun, so that most of the time, when we have a new moon, the moon appears to be either above or below where the sun is in the sky. And seen from the point of view of eclipses, that means that the moon's shadow misses the Earth, and so there is no eclipse. So the only way you can have a solar eclipse is when the new moon occurs at the same time that the moon happens to be crossing the Earth's orbit as it goes around the Earth. And even in those cases where it does, the moon has to be close enough to the Earth so that its shadow reaches the Earth's surface. You see, the moon's orbit around the Earth is not a perfect circle. There are times when it's farther away from the Earth than average, and times when it's closer to the Earth than average. So as a combination of all these factors, it's only about every 18 months on average that you get a total solar eclipse occurring somewhere on the Earth's surface. And that location is going to be different every time. Now, if you have the right conditions occurring, the moon's shadow comes in 2 parts, the umbra and the penumbra. If you happen to be at a location on Earth that falls under the moon's umbra, then the moon will completely cover the sun in the sky, and that is when you have a total solar eclipse. If you're under the moon's penumbra, then the moon is only going to partly cover the sun, and you get a partial eclipse. And as you can see in the diagram here, the moon's umbra gets narrower and narrower the farther you are from the moon, so that by the time it gets to the Earth's surface, at most, the moon's umbra is only going to be a little bit more than 250 kilometers wide, which is something like 150 miles. So it's only a narrow location on the Earth's surface that is actually going to see the total eclipse. Whereas the penumbra can be up to a few thousand miles wide, so many, many more people are going to see a partial eclipse than a total eclipse. And in fact, during those times when the moon is farther away from the Earth than average over the course of its orbit, the moon's umbra doesn't even reach the Earth's surface. When that happens, if you're standing under a location where the moon's umbra would have touched if it was close enough, then the moon does not completely cover the sun, even if it's dead center on it, but instead leaves a thin ring of sunlight around it. This is what we call an annular eclipse. And this is what an example of what an annular eclipse would look like in the sky. What you're seeing here is a map showing paths of totality. The path is each one of these curved yellowish lines showing the locations on the Earth's surface within which you would be able to see a total eclipse at some point or another during the moon's passage between the Earth and the Sun. And this map shows you all the paths of totality for eclipses that have occurred across the United States of America from after the year 1776 up to the present day. And from this map, you can see that the last total eclipse that occurred anywhere within the continental United States was in 1979, almost 40 years ago. So it has been quite a while since the continental US has experienced a total eclipse, although Hawaii managed to get one in 1991. What this map doesn't show you is that since 1979, the continental US has had a few annular eclipses. And on this map, you can see the future of total eclipses for the North American continent. The current one, for August 21st, 2017, runs like just about across the center of the continental United States. And after that, there will be some others. It's interesting to note that the track for the 2045 eclipse runs almost exactly parallel to that of the 2017 eclipse, just a couple hundred miles further south. On this map and on the previous one, you noted that totality tracks have different widths. For one thing, this is an indication of how close the moon is.